Original post, August 2, 2024. My mother-in-law has a total of 10 grandchildren. Mine are her least favorite, and as long as the children were young and didn't understand, it was tolerable, but now they suffer a lot and notice the favoritism, and visiting the in-laws has become an ordeal for my children, especially when the other cousins are there. Now I have decided to eliminate this anxiety from my children and forbid my in-laws to ever be in my children's lives again. Almost everyone on my husband's family, including my husband, are calling me an asshole, and many are saying that I am an arrogant and hateful woman, and that's why I never was a favorite of my mother-in-law. But see, this is where I disagree. It doesn't matter if she likes me or not. If I am the arrogant one or she's the selfish, bitter one, it shouldn't be taken out on the children, and here's an example of the train of thought that made me come to this conclusion. I have a sister and a brother who are both married with kids. I hate my brother-in-law because he is an abusive ass, and I love my sister-in-law. I love all my nieces and nephews, because they are my family and didn't choose their parents. In other words, my children are her grandchildren and her son's children, no matter who I am. Now she is calling my husband, crying every day about how I am forbidding her from seeing her grandchildren, which is beyond me, because why would she even care when she doesn't like them? Because I finally said something? My other reason is that I don't want my children to resent their cousins for being treated better, because it is not the cousins' fault either that adults aren't even pretending to be civil. My husband said that I have no right, and that he has the same amount of say to decide who meets his children, so I told him that fine, he could choose us or mommy, and we could divorce, and I would make sure his mom to never see our children enforced legally, because what started all of this is one of my sister-in-laws sending me chat logs after chat logs of his mother spewing hatred about my children, especially my daughter, because she looks like me. Am I the asshole? Can I forbid my husband's family to see our children, even with him believing we could fix this in a less dramatic way? His mother is very willing to apologize and talk, and she says that she loves our children very much. But for me, that ship has sailed and sunken. My daughter does not want to see anyone from that side of the family. Relevant comments. Comment 1. Is this a race thing as well? Are you and your husband the same race or color? OP. Nope. He is white. I am not. Comment 2. So what has your husband done about this? Has he set down some rules for his mom? Is he upset about what his mom said about his own daughter? Has he told her that talking about his daughter that way is inappropriate? Or does he just want to believe his mom's crocodile tears just to take the path of least resistance? OP. He is absolutely not upset about what his mom said, because we shouldn't have read these chats, and people are free to express themselves when the chat is supposed to be private. It is only bad if she said this to our children. Except our children aren't dumb. They don't need to read the chat, they know how she feels about them. Comment 3. What does your husband have to say about all the obvious abuse she lobs at them? He's a failure of a parent if he thinks what she says to them is okay. OP. The only one he was angry about is a picture she had taken of our youngest laying in the grass, and you can see their pet's gravestone behind his head, and she wrote some really bad things about him. Comment 4. Can you give some specific examples of how she hates your children? Seems if she hated them, she'd welcome you, saying she doesn't ever have to see them again. Do be aware that you will have no say in how much contact your in-laws have with the kids while your husband has his visitation time. Unless these chat logs actually include tangible threats of physical harm, the courts will not restrict who your husband and the kids spend time with during his custody time. You and your husband sound like you need to get some marriage counseling to get on the same page, or to help navigate co-parenting as divorced parents. OP. You would think that, wouldn't you? That she would be over the moon that she doesn't have to have them in her life. But my guess is that she enjoys the mistreatment. She loves showing obvious favoritism and seeing their reaction. Like when she calls them fat, or my daughter a giraffe, or when she forgets to buy them gifts when everyone else gets one, or pushes them out of pictures with her other grandkids. Comment 5. Family therapist. Let your husband hear from your children and you with a third party. And maybe you can all figure this out together. Good luck. OP. I have been thinking about therapy for my daughter because she is 7 and understands very well what's happening, but maybe the whole family is a good idea. Update 1, August 7, 2024. Hi. So I got what I wanted in the end. My husband was reluctant to hear me or the children out. I told him, what's the point of even having a family if you already have a family? What's the point of trying to raise our children to have their own autonomy if we don't listen to them when they say no? He of course called me dramatic. We invited his older brother and wife for dinner. The brother brought up the issue and I was very honest about what I wanted and what the children wanted. The brother laughed it off as me always despising his mother, so I asked him if he read the chats between his wife, his sister, his mom, and his other sister-in-law, the one who ratted them out, and he at first denied it, then he said yeah I did. I asked him what he would have done if his mother, Or mother-in-law wrote these things about his children and he just laughed. She would never even dream of seeing them again. Not even if hell froze over. So I asked then why my children? He looked at me, then my husband, his brother, then he casually said, because I am a real man. But your husband has always been a wimp. My husband was silent the whole time. I said, well, I don't have balls, but your mother will never see my children again, not even if hell freezes over. So tell that to your brother or anyone for that matter. My husband took our daughter out for a dinner and movie, a tradition of theirs, and he probably talked to her about her grandparents. She told him they don't like her, and she feels sad about it. She made it very clear she doesn't want to talk to them. She told them she had grandparents, my folks, so that's enough. When he got home, he said that we don't need to visit again. We will not accept any gifts from them and that he can visit them alone. I said thank you. Relevant comments. Comment 1, good for sticking up for your kids. I'd lose quite a bit of respect for hubby though. OP, I have to be honest. Hopefully, some therapy and I can get over that. Comment 2, I'm sorry to say this, but you've still got a real problem. When you felt disrespected by his family, and when you expressed that your children were hurt by this, he wanted to change nothing. When he felt disrespected, he said it's time to make a change. Your husband is a nutless, selfish man boy. OP, I thought one problem at a time kind of arrangement. He is aware that we have problems, but both are willing to work together to solve them before we called it quits. Story 2. Am I the asshole for moving out after my mom announced her pregnancy? Original post, July 18, 2024. I'm 22 female, my mom is 37, and I have 3 younger siblings, 14 female, 7 female, and 4 male. Me and the second oldest have different dads from each other and the other 2. They and this upcoming baby all have the same dad, our stepdad. I'm sorry if that was confusing. There are 3 dads in total but only our stepdad is involved now. I was the babysitter and mom growing up. When my sister was born, I magically became mom despite not even being double digits. When the others came, I still was mom. I didn't get to have fun, go out, or be a kid. My job in the house was to cook, clean, raise my siblings, and deal with our mom. She was incredibly immature growing up and loved to drink, party, spend money on luxuries, and not be a mom. She acts more like a mom now, but a lot of the work still falls on me. She robbed me of my childhood, and I'm very bitter about it. The only reason I lived at home for so long was because no one would or could take me in, and I felt that I could tolerate it all for free rent and food. It was a good deal for me then, but I'm 22 now. I'm done being a mom when I don't even have kids. Last year my stepdad's parents died in a car accident and as their only child, he got everything. We all moved into their home and got a bit of money under our belts, so I guess they decided to have a baby. When my mom announced it, I asked if she was serious. She confirmed and asked me if I still had my diaper changing skills as a joke. I was silently livid. I dryly laughed and found some roommates online that night. The thought of wasting another 10+ years raising my siblings sounded terrible. She found out that I'm planning on leaving come August, and now she's irate calling me every name under the sun and selfish. She got my siblings involved and the youngest is crying asking why I don't love them anymore and why I'm leaving. It's really low to use kids like that and it hurts. I don't want to stay, but I don't want them to cry. I know I'm doing the right thing for myself, but is it the right thing for them? My mom never really parented growing up. She wouldn't, so I took over that role. I was the one who changed diapers and taught them their ABCs and all that. I was the one who cooked dinner and bathed them. I look at none of my siblings as siblings, but as my own kids because that's what they basically are. I don't think she'll be able to do a good job. She and my stepdad rely on me heavily in that category. Am I the asshole for leaving? I need advice on how to get over this feeling and move on. Edit, this kind of blew up when I wasn't expecting it to. Thanks everyone for the kind messages. You all are right, I need to go. My mom and stepdad need to figure it out. I'm going to talk to all 3 of my siblings and explain that me leaving is normal and a good thing. I'll always be a phone call away. I'm most worried about my 14-year-old sister though, and will not hesitate to get authorities involved if I suspect she's going through what I went through, or she tells me herself. I'll be giving her a different type of talk soon to try and prevent her from becoming the new mom. Thanks everyone, if I update again it'll be after I've already moved out. I really appreciate your guys' support. It's giving me the strength to do what's right even if it's hurting. My mom and stepdad can hire a babysitter with his inheritance if they really can't do it. Relevant comments. Comment 1, no leave now, It's getting way manipulative, and your mom seems like the queen of making poor choices as it is. Like Jesus. Run for your life, remain in contact with your siblings, but it's not your obligation to be a mother to your mom's kids. OP, I agree with her being the queen of bad decisions. When I was born, I could excuse it because she was so young and needed guidance. My grandparents, her parents, were permissive and let her do whatever she wanted with little to no consequences. It was really fun when I was a kid because, well, no rules. I moved a lot growing up into her boyfriend's houses, and stayed with her friends frequently when she went out to party. Eventually, as you might expect, I learned that that wasn't fun and that I wanted my mom. I would cry and she'd push me aside because she just didn't want to be a parent. She's doing a lot more now like I said in my post, but it's obvious she has no idea what kids are really like. She sees them sort of as decoration because they were always shoved at me. She knows she's going to have a world of hell waiting for her once I'm gone. Comment 2, you tell the kids, I love you in my heart, no matter what, always. And you leave because you deserve a life that is not being a domestic servant to your mother's failed birth control philosophy. You being parentified at such a young age is a form of abuse. Sit down with your sister and explain what happened to you, and that she can't let it happen to her. Your mom will come after her next. It would be a very good idea to get a therapist to help you reframe exactly how badly you have been treated and why you need to leave. You can't help the other kids, really, until you help yourself first. OP, I thought about my sister a lot as well, which is what makes this so hard. I took the brunt of everything so she wouldn't have to. I wanted her to be a kid. 14 is way too early to be a parent and I know that that's what will happen to her. I know that she'll just do what she's told and she's responsible enough to realize when things aren't working, and she'll try to fix them herself and fall into that trap. I don't know how to have that conversation with her without my household exploding, but I know that it needs to be done. My 2 little siblings have just been crying and crying thinking that I'm never coming back. Even though I tell them that I'll come visit, my mom keeps telling them that I'm never coming back and abandoning the family. Update 1, August 9, 2024, 22 days later. Hello everyone. I just want to say thank you again for your kind words and encouragement. You have no idea what they meant to me. I moved out and everything is going fine. My mom and stepdad blocked me, but my 14-year-old sister is so far doing fine. I talked to all my siblings individually, but it was rough in more ways than one. I had an explosive argument with my mom the day I left, but that was to be expected. She said nothing new. She called me selfish, a brat, a terrible daughter, and said that she wished she had aborted me. Nothing I haven't heard before. About a week or so before I moved out, I stopped doing most of the things I did before. My parents freaked out and we had a lot of arguments, but I'm happy it's over with. Every time they saw me a comment was said either to my face or under their breath. My mom would act like I was invisible and talk about me to whoever was around. She filled my siblings' heads up with lies and I was incredibly stressed about it. I actually considered staying at that point. I was very close to just staying home, which I know will disappoint you all, but I almost did. This wasn't an easy transition for my siblings and they're small. It hurt so bad watching them get wrapped up in all of this. My parents had no idea how to do anything for some reason. They had no patience and couldn't get the kids to listen to them. I know they didn't have much experience in childcare, but they were acting brand new. I had a really hard time watching them struggle and watching my siblings suffer because of it. I felt horrible and like I was neglecting them. School is also coming up very soon and I used to always get them together, so that's going to be an upcoming problem. I'm happy that I won't be around for that, but I'm sad that I won't be. My little brother will be a kindergartner, and my sister will be a freshman in high school. Those are huge milestones I wanted to be around for. But, on the bright side, my sister is playing the incompetence card all on her own and I love her for it. After our conversation about not turning out like me, she told me she'll pretend not to know how until mom stops asking her, which hasn't happened yet. Apparently, mom asks her to cook, wash the kids, get them dressed, etc. little gateway things that will spiral into her being the new mom. I'm proud of her for sticking to her plan for the few weeks that she has. She's a lot stronger than I thought she was. I really thought that I'd have to drill it into her to not do anything, but she's doing a lot better than expected. I just hope she doesn't crumble under the pressure. I know it's hard. In order to visit I have to be welcomed back into the house, but that isn't going well since I'm blocked. I don't want my sister being the middleman even though she's already trying. I want to see everyone, but without permission, there's nothing I can do. And, if anyone cares about my new move, my roommates are great. We played Monopoly our first night all settled in and it was a great bonding experience. And they're very clean people. It seems so small but it's amazing. I'm loving my current arrangement and hoping it lasts. So yeah. I'm doing fine, my sister didn't take over my job, and I hope she never does, and my parents are losing their minds as expected. I can see their marriage falling apart in the future too. They can figure it all out and raise this one start to finish. Part of me is still feeling incredibly guilty for leaving and I sometimes regret it, but my newfound freedom feels so good, and I'm reminded of why I left. I'm going to a bar later tonight with my roommates for the first time in my life to let loose and have fun. It feels so weird to say, but I feel like a teenager. Everything is so exciting and feels a bit illegal, like I'm out way past curfew. So thank you again everyone. I don't think I'd have actually moved without your guys' words. Even though I found roommates, I don't think I could have left on my own. I wouldn't have committed and probably just stayed home. I'm not as strong as I thought I was. It really helped me make a decision when I thought about disappointing you guys. I've never met any of you, but having a cheerleader and knowing that so many of you saw my post and wrote me a kind message really helped. I couldn't be more grateful and excited to live my life. I thought it would be a great time to update since I'm going out tonight to have some fun. Someday all the guilt will be gone, and I'll patch up my relationship with everyone. I still want to have a relationship with my mom someday if she'll change and allow it. As much as I say I hate her, I still sort of love her. She's still my mom. But until then, bye everyone. Thank you all so much. How many times did OP's mom expect OP to raise her kids for her? Like, surely you don't think you can get away with it indefinitely. Also, I really hope OP's sister is able to resist being parentified. That's something that I wouldn't wish on anyone. Anyway, I hope OP enjoys her freedom. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.